Hey, welcome back. So last time we left off doing the compression test on my Project 92 YJ, and we found that a lot of the pressures were low in all the cylinders. So we were talking about doing a wet compression test. That's what we're going to cover today. So in my last video we covered how to do a compression test and what that is. But now when we did the compression test, we found that a lot of the pressures were low. So my pressures were down like 105, 106, 104, and on a Jeep Wrangler like this with an inline 6, you want those pressures up at 120, 150. So we're obviously losing pressure somewhere. Is it by the piston rings, around the valves that aren't seating well, or between the head gasket? Do I have a bad head gasket and it's just leaking out there? I don't think that's the issue. Honestly, I think my issue is the valves. So the wet compression test will give us some more information. It'll tell us if we're losing pressure around the rings of the piston. So let's do that. And be sure to check out my other video where I show you how to get all set up to do a compression test, because there's a few things you need to do to make sure you're doing it properly and safely. So actually, before we connect our pressure gauge up to the cylinder number 1 there, we're going to take just some regular motor oil and we're going to squirt it in the spark plug hole here. And what that's going to do is it's going to help seal that piston ring. It's going to create a little false artificial seal temporarily. So let me squirt this in here. Now if the pressure comes up significantly, we know it's the piston rings that are giving us the issue. If the pressure stays the same, then it's probably the valves or the head gasket. Most likely the valves. Okay, go ahead. Wow, I was not expecting that. This pressure now, it's up to at like 160. That tells me the rings on this one are shot.
Really wrong. Is that good?
So we're gonna go along and test all the other pistons here. That really surprised me. I was not expecting to get that high of pressures by doing this wet compression test. So the good news though, I guess we'll be replacing the rings on these pistons. So hey, another video. So let's go along and test these other valves. Let's go along and test these other cylinders.
You made it look.
You almost ready? Okay, go ahead. 160.
That's all, or do you need it one more time?
We got one more to go. So yeah, wow, I really was not expecting these results. These pressures are like 30 to 50 psi higher than my previous test. So that tells me that the rings on these pistons are shot and really need to be replaced. I'm losing a lot of pressure, a lot of compression around the rings. I suspect that I'm losing pressure around the valves too because they're just so dirty. But I'm going to be cleaning those up as well. So this kit is super cool. I'll put a link in the description below where you can find a compression testing kit like this. If I can figure out how this goes back in here. Just a super handy tool that'll actually tell you quite a bit about the health of your engine. the wear of your engine. If you have any issues with your valves or piston rings, that kind of stuff. Is that all of it? I think so. So yeah, just squirting a little bit of oil in the cylinders like that creates an artificial seal around those rings temporarily, and that'll just help us determine if we're leaking there. Squirted the oil in there, and sure enough, pressure went up significantly. So obviously that's where I was losing some of my pressure. Be sure to check out my other video of how to safely set up to do a compression test, because you can't just pull the spark plugs, hook it up, and go for it. There's a few steps you gotta take. So thanks for watching. Have a good day. If you haven't subscribed, welcome to my channel. Be sure to subscribe. I'm all about Jeep repairs and maintenance, helping you guys out, making things easier for you. So thanks for watching and have a good day. So follow that along. So this is my shop cat, Tootsie. She likes to hang around and come along and purr around whatever I'm working on until I start the car. She kind of freaks out. Wow, I'm just still impressed that those pressures came up so high. I was totally thinking that my only issue was the seating of the valves, because they have so much carbon buildup and gunk on them that I was thinking there's no way those valves are seating very well. I was thinking I'll do this wet compression test, and the pressures might come up a smidge because there's probably a little bit leaking around the piston rings, but I was not expecting 30, 50 psi increase. That's just crazy. But cool, we'll get to look at some shredded piston rings. But that's probably a ways away. So I gotta pull the engine, that'll be fun. Take the head off. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, thanks Jason. Thanks for letting me borrow your compression tester. I'll get back to you next year.